man to be able to pay the school property taxes, and that's why we're talking about it this morning here on Feedback on The Voice, WEEU, and online, WEEU.com. We're broadcasting live at Boyer's Floor Covering on the Kutztown Road in Laureldale. This live broadcast is sponsored by EYESONPA.com, EYESONPennsylvania.com. Rich Shooker, one of the co-founders. Rich, you want to thank some of our sponsors that helped make this broadcast possible. A lot of people, when you went to these small businesses, mom and pop shops, they said, I want to be part of it in some way, shape, or form.
That's right.
So go ahead, who are the people you want to thank?
Well, this was sponsored by Boyer's Floor Covering, which is very important because that's where we are. The London 912 Project, Hoffman Construction, Todd's Transmissions, Sam and Linda Bracadora, the Burke's Tea Party, Karl Becker from Caldwell Banker, Brad and Weisman from Caldwell Banker, J.P. Gilbert Company, Weisman's Restaurant, CHESTER-LANCASTER Anti-School Tax Association, and special help from Your Video Editor Productions and Room Brain Video Creations. It took everybody there to make this happen, and I just want to thank all of them. It's just fantastic.
Big round of applause for those sponsors. Also, you guys meet, is it once a month, every Tuesday? The first Tuesday of the month? How does it work?
The Eyes of Pennsylvania has a special training seminar once every month. It's every third Monday, and it's on specific topics. The one coming up is going to be on immigration and Obamacare. And everything we talk about there will be documented. Our philosophy is very simple. If we can't prove it, we can't say it. That's our meeting that's coming up. The Burke's Tea Party is having a special meeting Tuesday, September 10th, 6 to 7:30 at the Deluxe Restaurant on Lancaster Avenue in Shillington. If you want to come for dinner, come early. State Representative Benninghove is going to be there to debate Jim Cox. Yeah. I really want to hear what Benninghoff's going to say because a lot of the information that he puts out in letters is very misleading and, as far as I'm concerned, very unfactual. He is also the House Finance Committee Chair. We need to get his attention to get this thing out of committee. There will be a moderated forum, questions. Get there early, write your questions down so they can answer them. There will be comments by Benninghove, and he is supposed to respond to the supporters of this. Please sign up and be there. Let's get Benninghoff's attention.
There you go. Well said, Rich Sugar. I think we have State Representative Mark Rossi. We're going to bring him up here before we start with our realty friends, Realtors, who also represents this district, Rich, here in Muhlenberg Township. So we're in his district, and he can talk a little bit about the people here in this area that also perhaps want school taxes eliminated.
Thank you. It is a very important issue, especially as a freshman legislator. In the primaries and in the general election, I knocked on over 5,000 doors, and this was definitely the #1 issue for everybody out there. You know, when I have seniors tell me that they're taking out a line of credit to pay their school property taxes, and the line of credit is running out, you know, there's something that we have to do. And like Jim Cox and Tom, Councilor Jerome were saying earlier, this is just not a single party issue. This is something that both sides have to work on this to get this done. And as a freshman, seeing that happen, you know, when you see all this partisan politics in our federal government, and we're having both Democrats and Republicans work to get this done, and it's simply for one reason. It's for the benefit of the people of Pennsylvania. Amen. And the businesses. We talk about, you know, making a better business climate in our state. Well, this would be a great step forward for that as well. So, no doubt it's the #1 issue in my district, and we got to get this done.
And should people continue to email and write and call their representatives? Because we have people listening all over the Commonwealth today in 67 counties.
Yes. I mean, in my office alone, I have probably close to 500 petitions. What I would say to the other representatives out there, start handing out as many petitions and start collecting them, and absolutely make the phone calls to Representative Benninghove and Majority Leader Turzai. Those are the guys that can get this bill moving in the House, and we can get this done. You know, if they're looking for the Senate to do the heavy lifting here, we'll close it. But somebody's got to get this started, and we need to finish it this year.
Well said. Give him a hand. State Representative Mark Rossi. I appreciate it, Mark. Thanks for coming by today. Good stuff. Coming up with good fights. Good work. All right, we're going to talk about the real estate part of this. We have realtors Karl Becker and Brad Weisman with Coldwell Banker, Becker and Weisman Realty Team in Wyomissing. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. What do you think so far?
It's great. It's awesome. What I'm really impressed with is seeing the bipartisanship, seeing both parties here talking about the school taxes, and I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, forget about the D's and the R's. This
Absolutely.
is a people thing. You know, we're
right.
Americans. We're Pennsylvanians first.
I agree 100%.
And this is a major problem. Let me ask you guys, how many times have you heard about how a young couple, they're anxious to buy their first home, they get excited, maybe they just got engaged or getting married, they both have jobs, and they say, all right, we can meet with you guys, we can afford the payments, but then you say, well, wait a minute, there's one more thing we have to do. What's that? We have to figure in your school property taxes. And then all of a sudden you hand them another figure and they look at each other and said, looks like we're going to continue to have to rent because we just can't afford the school taxes. If we didn't have the school taxes, we'd be able to buy a home.
That's exactly.
How many times does it happen?
It happens all the time. It does.
all the time.
Yeah, it's very, very common because most people come in to buy a house and they're looking online, looking at principal and interest. And they look at the principal and interest, especially now because interest rates are great. And then all of a sudden you got to throw in this ugly number of property taxes, and they sit there and go, wait a minute, that just made my qualifications go from 150 to 100,000. You know, I mean, Karl has all kinds of numbers here of what it does as far as for buying power. People could buy a much bigger house if they didn't have to pay, or much nicer house if they didn't have to pay for the property taxes.
Give us some numbers, Karl.
Absolutely, it would put more people in the market for homes. There's no doubt. Just as an example, somebody that's looking at a home that's $100,000, they're looking at $166 a month in school property taxes. That's $33,000 more buying power. So that couple who was looking at a $100,000 house, without the school property taxes, they can afford a $130,000 house. And coincidentally, that puts somebody else in the market for that $100,000 house that couldn't afford it before. It puts so many more people in the market.
What would this do for the economy? How would this affect? I mean, this is just amazing.
They would do amazing things for the economy. What's going to happen is all of a sudden, like you guys had said before, it's going to put money back in your pocket. You're going to have money in your pocket that you can go out, you can buy some new carpets, you can buy some ceramic tile in your kitchen, you can do all kinds of things. You
Think
can
about
buy
the upgrades on your
TVs and
kitchen,
everything.
right?
You know, one of the things that the one caller brought up, which I thought was really interesting, Karl and I were chatting about it, is talk about helping the economy. Right now, I have a basement that I want to finish in my house, okay? One of the reasons I don't want to finish the basement is I know it's going to cost me about probably $30,000. Guess what's going to happen? My assessment's going to go up after I finish my basement, therefore I'm going to spend more monthly to have the basement. So it's not just costing me $30,000 for the basement, it's costing me the rest of the time I'm in that house, maybe another $150 to $200 a month. Guess what happens then? I don't get the work done. Guess what happens then? They don't put flooring down there. They don't build. I don't have contractors working in my basement. So if I did that and I put that investment into my home, I'm employing all these people. And then the economy grows. We all get to do more things with the money that we have.
Look at the ripple effect.
Yeah,
This would
it's
be amazing.
incredible.
It's a huge
So many people would be affected by this in a positive way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It puts so many more people in the market. It puts so many more contractors to work. It affects everybody. Just the way the downturn in the economy affected everybody, this would affect everybody in a positive way.
Absolutely.
Can you guys explain, because I know Berks County, the property taxes are really, really high. And it may not be as high in other counties, although it is a problem in other counties, but not like it is here in Berks County. Is it the common level ratio? Can you explain how that part works and the assessment?
Yeah, sure.
And why these taxes are so high?
Basically, there's a common level ratio that was put out, and before the common level ratio came into play, the people that really hurt were new construction buyers. When somebody went out to build a house, what was happening is they were building a house, and let's just say it cost $300,000 to build the house. They would be assessed at 100% of that value. So when they moved in, they were assessed automatically at $300,000. The house next door that maybe was built 15 years ago, that's even larger than that house that was just built, was paying 50% less in taxes because they're assessed at like 150 because of when it was built. So they realized they had a problem with this because it wasn't fair. So they came up with this common level ratio. They said, okay, we're going to go across the whole state and say this is what most of the houses are worth. This is what they're assessed at. and they come up with an average that says, okay, back then it was 68%, I believe. The first one that came out was 68% or 60% of your value. It's now up to 80% because everything's starting to adjust. So if you build a house today, you're going to be paying 80% of
You're
the value.
penalized.
Oh, absolutely. Why do you think there's no new construction?
Right. Again, this hurts the economy.
Absolutely.
And we have a historic reassessment. People are lining up to get their homes, or to appeal the reassessment.
Carl's done his house 3 times.
Yeah.
But it's only right. Why should you pay more than what the value of the home is? Why should you pay taxes based on what it was worth in 2006? That's not right.
I've had listeners call me their school property taxes here in Berks County. No lie. Some of them said they're up to $12,000 a year. How do you afford $12,000 a year in property taxes?
You don't. You go into foreclosure.
Exactly. 610-374-8800, 1-800-323-8800. Back to the phones. Gene, are you still there?
Hello.
Hi, Gene. What do you think of the show today so far?
So far, so good, but I have a question. I rent my home. It's a private home. I pay $900 a month rent. My landlord's property tax on that is $2,400. Now, if they abolish the property tax, is my rent going to go lower? I'm going to end up paying more money because everything else is going to be going up.
Talk about someone who rents, because I personally feel that capitalism will take over. In other words, competition will take over. You'll have more people buying homes, and therefore the landlords, there's going to be more competition, and they're going to be forced to bring the rent down. But that's my opinion. You guys are in the business. What do you think?
I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, capitalism will take over. Because, like you said, what's going to happen, more people are going to be actually buying a property instead of renting. So therefore, the landlords are going to be fighting over who they get as renters, which means the rent rates are going to come down. I mean, I'm a landlord, and I know that, every time my taxes go up every year, believe me, I can't increase the rent on my tenants the amount that it's going up percentage-wise. So I think a lot of landlords are really hurting right now because we haven't been able to raise them for a long period of time because the economy's been bad and people can't pay the rent those higher rates. So it'll all adjust. It'll all work itself out in the end, I think.
Gene, would you want to own a home?
No, not really. I'm single. I'm an older person, so I could not take care of the maintenance and everything else on a home. So that's why I enjoy renting my home.
But what if I told you it was going to cost you $600 a month to own your own home and all your expenses totaled up to less than the $900 you're paying right now?
I don't know. I really don't. Right now, it's a tough decision for me because personal problems and everything else and stuff. I really don't want to do that.
But even townhomes or condominiums where they do all the maintenance, they shovel the snow, they cut your grass, mow the lawn, you're still owning that, and you wouldn't have to pay the property taxes, correct, if this goes through?
Absolutely.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gene, thanks for the call.
All right.
Good luck to
Thank
you. All right, thanks. Bye-bye. Mitch, anybody else online?
Need a break.
All right, we need a break. 610-374-8800, 1-800-323-8800. What else do you guys want to say to everybody here and everybody listening on WEEU at WEEU.com about these two bills, House Bill 76, Senate Bill 76?
Like you've been saying all morning, write your representatives, call them, hound them, email them, whatever you have to do, get out there and do it because it is a problem for everybody. The biggest one, a thing that I see too, is the seniors is the biggest thing. You never really own your home is the problem. You get to a certain point, you live your whole life, you're working hard, you pay off your mortgage, which everybody wants to do. Next thing you know, you still have taxes going up and up and up and up. And it's pushing people out of their homes, which is just not right. It's not, the American dream is owning a home. And if you never really own it, then it's really not a dream.
It's kind of like you're renting it. You gotta keep paying those property taxes.
It's the American nightmare at that point.
Are other realtors in the same boat as you guys? Do they support these two bills?
I don't know anybody doesn't.
I think we're all in the same boat as realtors,
Yeah,
of course. But as just being here in Pennsylvanians, we're all in the same boat. Absolutely.
I pay property taxes.
Yeah.
So do I. I know. Don't remind me.
I pay them. It's a problem. So we're all working to get it solved. I mean, you see these people here. This is great.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Give him a big hand. Karl Becker, Brad Weisman, with Coldwell Banker, Becker and Weisman, Realty State in Wyomissing. Appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you very much.